All right, what's up? Today we're talking about the 2025 Seattle Seahawks and their season, and just really my story of watching the team. Because if you're not aware, they won. They won the Super Bowl. They won the biggest broadcasted event in America somehow. It was awesome. First, say hi to the dog. Hi. She's just hanging out with me. She's gonna help me tell this story, honestly. And I guess I have to start with saying that I was not a big football fan like 2 years ago. Like, I didn't really. My friends all liked it. My family enjoyed football, but like I just didn't follow it that much. And literally starting in the 2025 off season, I decided to like go all in and just like start really following this team. And I was like following the draft, I was following free agency, I was watching games, I was listening to sports podcasts, right? Like from the very beginning. And bit of a strange experience because it literally went about as well as possible. 14-3 record, the highest in franchise history. Secured the 1 seed, made it to the Super Bowl, and won it in front of everyone. And, of course, division rivals will say Mickey Mouse ring or whatever, but like everyone else was like, this was clearly the best team in football. Like, there was just no question. This was such a good team, and it kind of came out of nowhere, right? Because after like a chaotic free agency of like losing our wide receiver one and losing our quarterback, we somehow came back and won everything. It's just very weird, because it's also just, not only did we win everything, it was also such a good story, This was a quarterback who was written off as like a playoff choker, someone who couldn't win big games. This was a head coach who was maybe labeled as too young, too inexperienced to go win it all. Unlike Mike Vrabel, the coach of the year, right? This was a team that was one of the youngest in the league and maybe deemed too inexperienced. A wide receiver one, Jackson Smith-Njigba, who was maybe not ready to take the step needed to become wide receiver one, right? Replacing DK Metcalf, replacing Tyler Lockett, This is just such a Cinderella story of a team, Like such underdogs. No one really predicted them to do that well. They were expected to get like 7.5 wins on betting sites. They ended up doubling that and winning it all. Just very weird season, Of course, I would never be anything but a Seahawks fan. I think I should make that clear. This is not like a bandwagon thing. My family has always supported the Seahawks, and for geographic and personal family reasons, I have strong ties to the Seattle area. Love for the city, love for the Pacific Northwest. I would never, ever root for any other football team because it's just not, that's not my vibe, I don't even have like a number 2 team. Like maybe the Lions, I guess, because it would be cool to see them win something after like the longest drought. Well, I shouldn't say the longest drought, but you know what I'm saying. Like oldest team not to have a Super Bowl. Actually, wouldn't that be the Cardinals? At least the Cardinals have the Cardinals have a Super Bowl appearance at least. The Lions don't even have that, so they definitely deserve it. And hopefully they will next year because I think they kind of just got screwed this year, and I think they're coming back. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, obviously, but I hope the Lions do well. I think there's a couple other teams that are really fun to watch. Caleb Williams and the Bears, super fun to watch, but my number 1 team will always be Seattle Seahawks, no matter what. And just very surreal to have them win everything so quickly. And like after I started closely following them, Because right, like I remember 2014. I remember the 2014 Super Bowl where they lost on the 1 yard line, and I was literally a kid back then. I was like maybe 15 years old or so, and give or take a year, and I just was not like paying attention to the TV, right? But everyone, of course, in the room was a Seahawks fan, and when it happened, there was just such a there was like yelling, there was shock, right? I remember so vividly, even though I wasn't invested in football, I remember the emotions of the moment so vividly, like how everyone was just like shook to their core, like just traumatized. Arguably worse than 28-3, not that we're having competitions of New England Patriots trauma, but like to have this game, to not only beat our division rivals in the playoffs, who are the only teams that the Seahawks really hate, but to get the revenge game against the Patriots is just perfect. It's literally the perfect season. It is the perfect season, I mean, I guess we could have gone like 17-0 or whatever, but first of all, that's like almost impossible. Second of all, I really think that the losses were instructive for the team. They were like helpful in like what we needed to do better, what we could improve on, because it is a very young team. I think the losses helped a lot with growth. So cool to see the veterans get this. DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Ernest Jones, right? So cool to see them get this. Obviously, Ernest Jones and Cooper Kupp getting a second Super Bowl. Just so happy for them. So happy for the rookies that were like able to make a splash impact. Gray Zabel, Nicky Manwari, super, super cool to see them. And yeah, I don't know. It just feels like not the NFL experience. I feel like I haven't had the NFL experience, I've had, I was loosely following the team the last couple of years where they were mid, right? And of course, everyone knows they were just painfully mid for basically a full decade between Super Bowl appearances. Not bad, just mid, right? It is what it is. And just to have skipped all that pain just feels strange. I'm sure there'll be plenty of pain. The Super Bowl was still really, really special for me because number one, I got to see it with my family. I got to connect with my dad. I got to just really experience it and enjoy it and treasure it because for all I know, we're never getting back to the Super Bowl ever again. For all I know, this is the last Super Bowl they'll ever win, And obviously, I hope that's not the case. They have a great roster, little turnover, young roster, a lot of cap space. So I'm super excited for what the future holds for this team. Think it's gotten nowhere to go but up. I shouldn't say that, but I'm excited for the future, Even if it crashes and burns, this will be a fun team to watch, So many playmakers: JSN, Nicky Manwari, Ernest Jones, Rashid Shaheed, right? Sam Darnold, right? Say what you want about Sam, Is he a top 10 quarterback? Maybe not. Maybe he is. But he's a gunslinger, right? He can really rip it, and that's super cool. I know there's a lot of a lot of just thoughts, I guess. I don't know. It's all just spilling out, I'm really, really glad we had this season, though. And you are too, aren't you, girl? Oh, she's so cute. She's so freaking cute. Okay, enough of that. Basically, I'm happy. I guess I did, even though this was such a spectacular season and a very weird season to follow closely for the first time, I'm very, very... I don't take it for granted, I think there's a good likelihood that this is the last Super Bowl of my lifetime, and I'm pretty young, so that's saying a lot. There's only there's only so much every team can do to make it to the top, and sometimes you get unlucky. We got lucky this season, right? Just little things that like really made a big difference, right? A lot of bets were made on Sam, on JSN, on Rashid Shaheed coming in midseason, on the defense, right? Like so many bets were made and gambles that just all paid off, every single one, and that's special. And I don't take that for granted. I don't expect it to happen again, but genuinely spectacular season. And I'm just so happy. This is like unbelievable. You know, I was literally ecstatic. You know, for someone who hasn't suffered like, all the failure and heartbreak of other fans, this was genuinely like just such an ecstatic moment, so enjoyable, and I can't believe it. You know, I genuinely can't believe it. I'm so excited to watch this team in the future, even if they're bad, even if they're trash. I might be suffering for the next 50 years watching as a fan, but I'm excited to see where it goes. That's it. That's all I got. Say bye. Bye.